Hello all. I've seen a number of forum users use this Cam Studio software to do better captures of the PC screens. So it got me to thinking that I could do a really quick one just to kind of go along with the first video I put out for the Lynx USB DMX dongle. Because I wanted to get a better shot of what the PC screens look like than what the video camera could show. And if you remember, the first thing that we needed to do was find out what the COM port was on the PC. And again, this is after the dongle was assembled, the PIC was programmed, and the drivers have been installed on the machine. So what we're looking for is the My Computer icon. And this is the newer Windows XP double pane start bar. Yours may be a single pane if you're still running Classic View, which means the icon may be on the desktop, but in my case it's on the second half of the double pane. So find your My Computer icon, right click, go into Manage, select the Device Manager, and what we're looking for is the options of Ports, COM, and LPT. So you want to expand it out, and my apologies, I got a bunch of stuff loaded on a laptop here, so it kind of colors it up a bit. I do apologize, but what I'm looking for is an entry called USB serial port. Now you may have more than one that matches that description, but to make sure we got the right one, if you only have the one dongle plugged in your machine, right click it, select Properties, go to your Driver tab. You'll notice that the driver provider says FTDI. And basically what that means is that that should be our dongle, because if you remember, when you assembled the dongle, that little module that was already assembled that you dropped in and installed, the one the cable plugs into, is put out by FTDI. So there's a good bet here that this USB serial port COM4 is our dongle. So now that we know it's COM4, we're just going to cancel out of that. We're going to close this, and the next thing that we're going to do is that we are going to launch Vixen. Now, I'm just going to skip the updates for now, because again, we're just wanting to create a very, very quick test sequence. So at the top, select Sequence, New Event Sequence, and Vixen Standard Sequence. Now, this is version 2.0.7.0. Thinking that the version 2's, the wizard will launch automatically. I don't know if it will launch automatically or not in the 1.0's, but if you already have a testing sequence built, by all means use it, but I just wanted to show this from kind of start to finish. So we want to click Next. I'm going to give it a 25 millisecond event period. Again, we're just testing. Next again. I'm going to go to the Profile Manager. I could cheat and use one of my built-in ones, but again, I just kind of want to show the process. I'm going to say Add a New Profile by clicking on the plus. We're going to give it a name. We're going to call it Car. And the first thing I'm going to do is come in here where it says 10 channels. I'm going to say 512, Add. Because in the DMX world, each universe you have can support 512 channels across 32 devices, and the Lynx USB dongle is a single universe DMX dongle, so it means 512 channels. And just to make testing easier, I add all 512 in, so I don't have to I don't inadvertently leave out a channel that my device I'm testing is set to. So just add all 512 in, and then go to the Output Plugins. You want to select the Intech DMX USB Pro. Hit the Use button, move it over, click on it in the second window. You'll notice it brought over the 1 to 512 that we put in earlier. But you'll notice when you click on it, this ungrays. Click Plugin Setup. This is where we got our COM port from earlier. Select COM4 and change the baud rate to 115.2. So we're updating it to be the correct COM port. Updating the baud rate to 115.2, none on the parity, 8 on the data bits, 1 on the stop bit. Click OK, click Done, and click Done again. Now it'll bring you back to this screen, so we need to grab the pull down, select the profile we created. In this case it was Car. So we hit Next, Now I'm just going to skip over the audio event patterns because we're not worried about audio. Again, we're just testing. So we'll click skip, and for an event period, give it about 5 seconds. Again, just testing, we don't mean much. Create it, and we're going to give it a name. We're just going to call it car. Doesn't really matter what you call it. Now, you'll see that real brief window where it says verifying Intech DMX Pro. At that point, it's actually trying to go out there and verify that it can open up the USB port that you gave it. If you run into an error at that point, the first thing I would highly suggest that you do is change out the USB cable. A lot of the cables, even though they're rated for high speed, it's just a marketing ploy, and they're actually not. So change out your cable, try the situation over again, see if the error clears. If it clears, great, we'll move on to the next step. If not, then try another cable or try another PC. But if everything goes well, really quick, up here at the top, you'll notice when you mouse over it, it says Test Channels. If you click that button, here's your Test Channels dialog box. Verify your sliders all the way up to 100%, and hit the Select All. Now at this point, whatever you have plugged in to your dongle should come on at this point, whether it be like an RGB Pixel or some other type of DMX controller or DMX Lite. It should be on at this point. And if the device you're testing supports dimming, you should be able to grab this slider, slide up and down, and then as you do that, the light should dim down and then go back up to full brightness. And again, this is just a really quick down and dirty way to just test the functionality of the dongle itself. And hopefully this will give individuals some better view of the screens themselves, and add a little bit more to that first video. And I shall chat at everyone later. Talk to you later. Bye.